Political tensions in Ethiopia boiled over in November 2020 between the government of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and the Tigray People's Liberation Front, or TPLF. Tigray forces attacked a federal military base in their northern stronghold and tried to steal the army's weapons, saying they feared an offensive. Prime Minister Abiy struck back, launching what he said would be a quick military offensive against the rebels. But 13 months later, the fighting continues. The rebels have threatened to march on the capital, Addis Ababa, and a de facto government blockade has left more than 5 million people in Tigray in dire need of humanitarian assistance. The conflict has spread to the neighboring Amhara and Afar regions, leaving an additional 4.2 million people in need of aid.
What became clear quickly in the course of the conflict is that there's unlikely to be any definitive military solution. And this has been the case throughout the course of 2021, and I don't see that changing in the future.
The parties have ignored international calls to stop fighting and talk.
Avec les Nations Unies, il faut nécessairement un cessez-le-feu.
Our concern is for a ceasefire that absolutely must happen. Humanitarian aid needs to reach all those that have suffered from this conflict, and we absolutely need to resolve these problems through political discussions and through dialogue.
The African Union has appointed former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo as a mediator. The United States has also tried to facilitate a settlement, sending Special Envoy Jeffrey Feltman to the country 3 times. Preconditions from both sides have prevented the start of talks.
The positions are very, very entrenched. The struggle is an existential one. But unless those types of shifts are made and those sorts of conciliatory approaches are taken, then it could lead to some absolutely terrible outcomes.
The UN fears this country of more than 110 million people is on a disastrous trajectory.
What is certain is that the risk of Ethiopia descending into a widening civil war is only too real. That would bring about a humanitarian catastrophe and consume the future of such an important country.
While the North suffers from conflict, much of the country and the Horn of Africa region in general is struggling from years of recurring drought. Nearly 26 million people across Ethiopia need humanitarian assistance.
I think next year is going to be a year of drought, of famine, of the collision of climate and crisis that we have not seen these many years.
The convergence of crises makes it all the more imperative to find a peaceful settlement to the Tigray conflict.
I don't think that the world has a choice but to continue urgently and fervently to pursue diplomacy aimed at getting the parties to stop fighting, move a settlement of their outstanding disputes to a political track.
But as Ethiopia enters the new year, analysts and diplomats alike warn that the trend lines are going in the wrong direction. Margaret Besheer, VOA News, the United Nations.